Some people don't break your heart. They quietly borrow pieces of it until there is almost nothing left for you. And the most painful part is this. You often call it love, loyalty, or understanding, when in truth, you are simply being emotionally used. Have you ever felt exhausted by someone you deeply care about, but couldn't explain why? Have you ever been the one who always understands, always forgives, always waits, always gives? While somewhere deep inside, a quiet emptiness keeps growing. You tell yourself they're struggling. You convince yourself they care in their own way. You silence your intuition because facing the truth feels heavier than carrying the pain. But your soul knows. Your spirit knows when love becomes one-sided labor. Your heart knows when affection becomes manipulation wrapped in soft words. Your body knows because it feels tired around them, anxious around them, strangely hollow after giving them your time, your energy, your compassion. Carl Jung once said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." And that is what emotional users depend on, your unconscious loyalty, your goodness, your inability to imagine that someone could take from your heart without ever intending to pour back into it. This is not always loud. It is not always cruel. Sometimes it comes disguised as closeness, intimacy, even need. But beneath that surface are silent signs, whispers your soul has been trying to hear. Tonight, we uncover 7 silent signs someone is emotionally using you. And perhaps in doing so, you may finally understand the wound you kept blaming on yourself. Sign 1. They only reach for you when they need something. There is a quiet kind of loneliness that comes from being loved only when you are useful. You know this feeling. Days, sometimes weeks, pass in silence. No message, no genuine check-in, no curiosity about your life, your struggles, your inner world. But suddenly, when they are hurting, confused, bored, broken, or in need of comfort, there you are, the first person they call. And because your heart is generous, you answer, you listen, you heal, you reassure. You become emotional shelter in their storm. But when the sky is clear, they disappear again, until the next storm. This is where many good-hearted people become trapped, because being needed feels dangerously close to being loved. But they are not the same. A thirsty traveler may desperately seek water, but that does not mean they love the well. They simply love what the well provides. Ask yourself honestly, do they seek your presence, or only your emotional service? Do they care for your soul, or do they only return when their own soul feels empty? Nietzsche warned, invisible threads are the strongest ties, and emotional dependence can create invisible chains. Chains where you mistake being emotionally consumed for being emotionally cherished. Healthy love is mutual nourishment. It is not one person constantly pouring while the other endlessly drinks. If every conversation revolves around their pain, their drama, their needs, their emotional hunger, while your inner world remains unseen, you are not standing in love. You are standing in extraction. And the tragedy is, the kindest hearts often notice last. Sign 2. They give you just enough love to keep you attached. There is a dangerous kind of affection that feels warm in moments, but cold in the long run. It comes in flashes, a deep conversation at midnight that makes you feel seen, a sudden loving message after days of silence, unexpected tenderness when you are finally beginning to pull away, a compliment so sincere it reaches the wounded places inside you, a rare moment of closeness so beautiful. It makes you forget months of emotional neglect, and suddenly hope returns. You think, maybe they do care. Maybe they're just confused. Maybe I should be patient. Maybe love simply takes time. But what you are experiencing may not be love. It may be emotional breadcrumbing, tiny crumbs of affection scattered carefully enough to keep your heart following a trail that leads nowhere. Like a candle in darkness, Even a little light feels powerful when you have been starved of warmth. And that is exactly why it works. Buddha taught attachment is the root of suffering, but attachment does not always begin with deep love. Sometimes it begins with inconsistency. The human mind becomes addicted to what is unpredictable. Just like gamblers keep pulling the lever because the next one might pay out, your heart keeps holding on because the next moment might finally become real love. You become emotionally hooked not by certainty, but by possibility. And possibility is seductive. Ask yourself, do they consistently love you? Or do they periodically rescue your hope? Do they offer genuine emotional presence? Or do they simply sense when you are slipping away and pull you back with temporary warmth? Real love does not survive on emotional crumbs. Real love nourishes, it reassures, it remains. Anything that keeps you starving while promising fullness one day is not intimacy. It is emotional captivity dressed as romance. And many hearts stay imprisoned there for years, calling their cage patience. Sign 3. You feel responsible for their emotions. At first it feels like compassion. You want to help. You want to understand. You want to be their peace. So you begin carrying them emotionally. You monitor your words so they won't be upset. You silence your truth so conflict won't happen. You apologize even when you did nothing wrong. You become hyper-aware of their moods, reading tone, messages, silence, facial expressions, always trying to prevent emotional storms. Slowly, without realizing it, your nervous system becomes trained around their instability. Their sadness becomes your guilt. Their anger becomes your fear. Their disappointment becomes your shame. And one day, you wake up emotionally exhausted. Not because love is heavy, but because you have been carrying a weight that was never yours to hold. Carl Jung wrote, "The greatest burden a child must bear is the unlived life of its parents." The same truth exists in relationships. The greatest burden a loving soul can carry is another person's emotional immaturity. You cannot become someone's permanent emotional regulator. That is not partnership. That is parenthood disguised as intimacy. Healthy love says, "I feel pain, but I will take responsibility for healing." Emotional users say, "I feel pain. Now you must carry it for me." There is a profound difference. Love supports. It does not absorb endlessly. Compassion listens. It does not become chained. And here is the painful question. Do you love them? Or have you simply become emotionally responsible for them? Because if your peace depends entirely on their mood, if your freedom depends on keeping them emotionally stable, if your life revolves around managing their inner chaos, then what feels like devotion may actually be bondage. And bondage, no matter how romanticized, is never love. Sign 4. They make you feel guilty for having needs. At first it happens subtly. You ask for honesty. They call you demanding. You ask for consistency. They call you impatient. You express hurt. They say you are too sensitive. You ask for reassurance. They sigh as if your heart is an inconvenience. And slowly, something tragic begins happening inside you. You start shrinking. You stop asking for clarity. You stop expressing disappointment. You stop speaking your needs aloud. You begin swallowing your pain because you fear becoming a burden. And the heartbreaking part? You start feeling guilty simply for wanting what every human heart naturally needs: respect, care, emotional reciprocity, presence. This is how emotional users quietly rewrite your inner world. They make your hunger feel shameful, while treating their endless hunger as normal. So you give more, ask for less, endure more, need less, until one day you become emotionally malnourished while convincing yourself you are simply being understanding. But Lao Tzu reminds us, when you are content to be simply yourself and don't compare or compete, everybody will respect you. And part of being fully yourself means honoring your needs, not apologizing for them. A flower does not feel guilty for needing sunlight. Roots do not apologize for needing water. The soul should not feel ashamed for needing genuine love. Ask yourself, have they made you feel difficult for needing basic emotional care? Do you constantly censor your feelings because honesty creates tension? Do you silence your pain because expressing it makes you feel selfish? If so, something sacred is being stolen from you. Your right to emotionally exist. Love should expand your voice, not suffocate it. The moment your needs become crimes in someone else's story, you are no longer being loved. You are being conditioned, and conditioning is how emotional captivity becomes normal. Perhaps while hearing these signs, a face kept appearing in your mind, a name, a memory, a wound you kept reopening in silence, and maybe a difficult truth is standing before you now. You were never hard to love. You were simply pouring your heart into hands that only knew how to take. Remember this, your kindness is not weakness. Your depth is not too much. Your emotional honesty is not something to apologize for. The wrong people will feed on your light. The right people will protect it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good person should be. Be one." And being good also means being good to yourself. Protect your peace. Honor your needs. Walk away from one-sided emotional hunger. Choose spaces where your soul is nourished, not consumed. Because the heart was never meant to be a well everyone drinks from while it quietly dries up. It was meant to be a living river, flowing where love flows back. If this message touched something unspoken inside you, perhaps it was truth finally finding language, and sometimes that is where healing begins.